Attribution, it's Friday, July 4th. I won't be doing a video about Independence Day this year. If you want to see me talk about the 4th of July, you can watch last year's video. America! Pew pew! Yeah. I think I met my pointing quota for the month already. Okay, so Nathan, you and I know that the human brain is crazy and mysterious and just so freaking awesome, but it also seems super fragile. I mean, it dictates everything our body does. It's uber important for our bodies to function. So it seems like if it gets damaged even in the slightest, you could only expect doom and death, right? Well, you shouldn't always expect that. It's incredible the way our bodies fight to live, and the brain is no exception. Many people go throughout their lives suffering from seizures, which are caused by excessive or abnormal neuronal activity in the brain. Basically, your brain is just too active and it just goes, I don't know what to do. Ah! It's not good. Sometimes surgeries are performed to treat these seizures. For example, the corpus callosum, which connects the two halves of the brain, can be severed, which can prevent seizures from spreading from one side of the brain to the other. In more extreme cases, a hemispherectomy may be needed, which is the removal of one entire hemisphere of the brain. Whoa. I mean, the idea of living with only half a brain blows my mind. Pun intended. And patients, for the most part, can recover to having no change in who they are as a person. This is partly due to the brain's amazing ability to adapt and take over tasks it wouldn't normally do, which is called neuroplasticity. It's also because of the brain's resilience, its ability to bounce back and recover as much as possible after being damaged or altered. Like I said, our bodies fight really hard to live. It's like they were wired to do that or something. So anyway, our brains work daily to make sure they can take care of the rest of our bodies, but unfortunately accidents happen and people suffer from all sorts of brain damage. But what about when a freak accident occurs and someone walks away, for the most part, like, alright? I read a story the other day about a Russian man in the 70s whom I'm calling the 20th century Phineas Gage. Now before I tell his story, I'm going to briefly tell Phineas's in case you've never taken an entry-level psychology course. Basically, Phineas Gage was a man who lived in the mid-1800s who one day got an iron rod blasted through his head while he was on the job at the railroad. Talk about a bad workday. He proceeded to go to the doctor and after a few months seemed pretty okay, even though he'd had like brain falling out of his head. He ended up dying 12 years later due to a seizure, but what amazes me is that he didn't die when a freaking metal rod went through his freaking brain. Like, what? So yeah, Phineas Gage is like the poster boy for freakish brain accidents that don't cause immediate death. But the story I want to tell of Russian scientist Anatoli Bugorski, I think I pronounced that right, is just as cool and is so current. The year was 1978 and Anatoly was working with a malfunctioning particle accelerator at the Institute for High Energy Physics when he happened to stick his face into the path of a proton beam. This beam sliced through his face and head, giving him no pain but an image of a flash brighter than 1,000 suns. He was expected to die from radiation, but you know, just didn't. He suffers from hearing loss in his left ear and does get the occasional seizure, which he treats with medicine, but is otherwise fine. He got his PhD and continued working as a physicist and is still alive today. Nathan, our brains are amazing. We are so lucky to have them and it is so cool to continue learning about the way they work. We'll see you on Monday. Pew 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 pew. Ow! What the fuck?